Hi, my name is Gary and this is my vlog. Sci-fi is typically about like a scientific future, like all futuristic stuff like lasers and ships and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes they'll go a bit archaic in the way they do it, like mixed with technology. They'll have like, in the way of Star Wars, like laser swords and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And in the way of things like Alien, which I've done here, they will completely go back. They'll have things like CRT monitors, old valves that make lots of noise, just like old stuff in a futuristic setting, which is a fairly unique view and stuff. In the terms of Alien, it's pretty set in the way it's heroes and villains now. It's got set heroes and a monster, so it's pretty easy to tell which it is. Unlike Inception, which has no clear boundary who's good or bad for the entire thing. You could leave it to your own opinion. And even the ending of Inception is like, you can't really tell. It's left to your own opinion. Alien also has a dark future setting, which is like not very commonly used in any movie really. Like I said, the old CRT monitors and stuff, like a bleak future. There's like, they've had to like go backwards in time to go forward. That kind of thing. That's not used very often. In that dark future setting, it's very bland. There's only like browns and greys and stuff. There's not many colours. It's not exactly a bright future, as I said, it's dark. There's just like, it's not very good to live in really. It's a common usage of having an alien as an enemy. In sci-fi, aliens are commonly enemies, and this one's, even though it's unique, it's still not exactly common, not exactly uncommon to be used. Alien is it's a sci-fi / horror, so it has lots of atmospheric noises in the background. Its soundtrack was very good for its age. It's an old movie when compared to Inception, which is pretty new, the last 2 years, whereas Alien, I believe, was released in the 1970s, 1973, something like that. As it's a horror movie, it has lots of fast cuts and close shots, medium shots. Not many wide shots in the entire movie, as to keep you kind of boxed in and not be able to see what's outside the picture. You never know what's there, you never know where the alien is. As opposed to Inception, which has fast cuts but mainly for the action, and it shows a lot of wide shots to get in all of the background and all the built environments of the dream world. For Alien, it's a very common set in space. Just about all sci-fi films filmed in space, as in with the theme with spaceships and all that. Whereas Inception is filmed in a semi-modern setting, except maybe a bit forward in the future, as they have technology that we don't. The scenery is nearly all physical. They'll have like a lot of physical props in the Alien movie, whereas Inception, it'd be all, well, not all, but majority would be digitally enhanced, or at least digitally enhanced. A lot could be completely digital, like some of the backgrounds could never be achieved in the real world. But Alien is an old movie. The props are completely like handmade, including the alien. Even that's handmade, and that's just a suit, and some of it's animatronic, which is not commonly used in movies these days, as it's all digital. Inception is unique in sci-fi, as it has a lot of special effects that are not often used, like the noise that I believe is a whale that has been digitally changed as to sound like a foghorn kind of thing, which is really unique to the movie. It takes place in a dream, and sometimes in a dream within a dream, which is a very unique setting for movies, especially sci-fi. It also features things like optical illusions, paradoxes, stuff that you could only make in a dream really, that'd work better in a dream. It has an uncommon enemy. The enemy is the mind itself. It has projections of the person's mind who they've entered that are trying to attack them. They're not human and they don't act like it. They act very mechanical in the movements, and they're always looking at them. Even if they've done nothing wrong, they seem to sense it. And that's, unlike Alien, which is actually the alien, which is a very common enemy, this is, well, a lot more unique and a lot more deadly. The lighting in the Alien movies are really low key. It is very spread out, as opposed to in other movies where, like Inception, it's like, well, it's modern day, so everything's well lit. Whereas in Alien, there'll be swinging lights every now and again. It's very archaic, so there'll be like really old lamps. There'll be like lights jittering because they're just old, that kind of thing. There'll be like, it'll be very dark, and there'll be a lot of shadows cast. The response from the audience has been pretty good because of the very unique setting. The effect has been that more sci-fi movies need to be like this, and there should be a sequel. A sequel is already in production, and it's a lot of people are looking forward to it. Whereas the Alien movies it's quite old, but it has become a cult classic. Everyone likes the very unique, alone feeling, isolated feeling the movie gives, as people have slowly picked off. There have been multiple sequels, though none of them have ever been as good as the first one, and none of them have been nearly as successful as the first Alien film, as well as critical acclaim. Over 30 years, these two movies have become quite different, though they've both become really popular. The Alien movie didn't have much of a budget. It had lots of physically built props, and it was very good. The Inception movie was very digital. It had a high budget, and it's also turned out very well. That just shows the gap between the ages. What was good then and what was good now. Even though the Alien movie had quite a large budget for its time, Inception has a very large budget. Hundreds of millions of dollars were used on it. Over time, money has become more plentiful, so they've been able to. In the Alien movies, they would have cut a lot of corners, but in Inception, they would have had the money to do whatever they wanted. And with all the digital stuff that's come into play in the movie industry since then, since when the Alien film existed, they've been able to realise the dream of their movie a lot more. Able to create the worlds that would not have been able to create back then. Thank you for watching this vlog.